We want revolution.
Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check. Complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant Podcast, your new source for information regarding Mafia wars from Zynga. Pistol Pete from Spockholm.
Live long and prosper.
And tonight I have with me Mig, Chainsaw Chester, Jana, Mig, Death by Gucci, and Jennifer, the Mafia Wars Loot Lady. So how are y'all doing tonight?
Good.
I got my southern drawl going on there. Y'all.
Y'all.
You're going to Denver, not Texas.
I know, but he's
Then
hanging with me. It happens.
Yeah, what's that supposed to be then? I don't know how you differentiate a
It's still the
accent
West.
in Denver.
I don't think we have them.
Echoes? We have mountains, so do you have echoes? Like
Oh, maybe.
yodeling? Yodeling?
Yeah. You'll have to try that. I've got a camera. Let's do that.
Ricola!
I can see it now. Our next commercial. It's awesome. How are you, Jen?
Oh, I'm okay. Just busy trying to keep up.
I know. God. Good luck.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's been a little bit overwhelming, really.
To a lot of people, there's a lot of outrage right now.
Yeah, I see it everywhere, all over the walls.
You know, and it was touched on by the PAC. A forum post went out that Lynn created that had a quote from Blue Eyed Nate saying that that they hear the community's cries about gifting events, because we're kind of sick of getting the same one over and over. But I think it's like what Pete said on the last show. We don't really mind events. They're not bad. It's just one right after the other. And now we're just getting hit every time you turn around. There's a new pop-up for something new.
Yeah, one's not over before the next one's starting.
And I think that's it. I mean, that's the point I keep making, is that I don't even care if they copy and paste every event they do. Just stagger between them.
And mix it up.
Eventually we'll get fatigued at doing the same event over and over and over and over and over again. But we are click monkeys, so we get used to it. But,
well, and this one ends right before Easter, so we'll have that one coming.
Then there'll be an Easter one. Yeah, we'll have to do the egg thing again.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't understand why everything has to be in rapid succession. But
and it just seems like everything is getting geared towards generating posts for Facebook. The energy packs, which we presented the idea at the PAC, were really good in concept, that you could divide your energy up, but they had to make it so you spam for it. And then you got your missions going on that you have to spam for, your Brazil crew slots that you need to fill. You have to spam for those, and it just never ends. And before, if you needed to find a specific post, you would just open up your news feeds and scroll down a few and you would see them. And now it's like you have to search page after page, and it's almost like you have to use the Spocklets to help you with these tasks.
Well, worse than that, they bulked them up again today.
They did do that today.
Like mine right now says 942 more posts from Mafia Wars. Are you kidding
mine
me?
does too. Now, Pete, when Facebook does that, does it affect the bookmarklets that scan the Facebook pages?
No, we read the actual streams themselves. So
okay, well that's good.
Stream Helper catches the individual posts themselves.
I actually prefer it that way, because then you, especially if you have real life people on your Facebook account. I don't, but if you have family members, often before I separated Mafia Wars in real life, I would never see the family posts. So I kind of do like the grouping, but I don't know why people don't like them. Maybe because it's not quick enough to click on things.
Well, and I think the other was that some people were using wall readers, and when they were getting grouped together, they weren't being read properly.
Well, if it doesn't affect Spockholm, then it doesn't affect me.
So is anything going on in Spockholm?
Yeah, we've always got new stuff coming out, and there's been a few things. And this week we had question come up in PAC. Someone was curious about the number of days that they've actually been doing jobs, and Martin wrote a really quick bookmarklet. What did he call it? He called it like the Mafia Wars Attic bookmarklet. And
No, days played.
Days played. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I wrote a post.
Well, I call it the attic because what it does is it looks at your dedicated achievement on someone else's profile that hasn't gotten it yet, so it can tell you the count, and then based on the count of days, it writes out a statement. Oh, you've been playing too much. You haven't been playing enough. You better get a life, and those kinds of things. So it's just kind of a funny take on the days played. Let me think what else we've got going on. We're gearing up, which we're going to have to get out probably Monday. We'll release the War Machine registration to get everybody registered for the new mock.
Sweet.
We'll have some new features added to it before it makes it out to the public. Some of the requests we've gotten over the last mocks we've done. So those will be in place by the time we go out and do the next mock. So we're busy gearing up for that. And to answer the question of, well, can anybody use it? Yes. When? We haven't exactly decided. What'll probably end up happening is we will probably make it where it's Spockholm controlled. If two families were going to war and wanted to register, then they would get a hold of one of us at Spockholm, and then we would go in and register the two families. If they provided us spreadsheets with their Facebook IDs and their names, then we would go ahead and automatically, through some back-end tools that we have, load up the two families in the system, and then they can go to war whenever they're ready. And that's probably the way it's going to be for a little while before I actually just like open it up and a front page to it that says register now, and you sign in, you give it your name and all this other stuff. There's still some work to be done, and since we do this as a part-time fun gig, we don't do it, to make a living. It's just the way it's going to have to be.
I think it's good to have someone like you or anyone from Spockholm overseeing something like that, though, that it's like an unbiased party. There's no lying and whatnot.
Yeah, and we've tried to take as many precautions during the development to prevent people from duplicating posts and posting ICEs more than once, or even the system, or someone trying to bypass the automatic collection of ICEs kills and red ICEs during the event. So we definitely have ways that we can work with that, and does allow us then to monitor it to a certain extent to make sure that things are running smooth. I don't know if I ever mentioned it on any of the past shows, because I had the one show where I rambled off a whole bunch of new stuff that we came out with, but one of the ones that's really worth looking at if you haven't is there's the new ZMC agent. And for those that don't know what ZMC stands for, it's the Zynga Message Center. It's that thing that pops up every time you come into Mafia Wars. If you click on that, what it does is it gives you a bookmarklet window, just similar to what you'd see for other stuff that we do. But it has drag and drop capability. So you can drag the items that you want to be able to open and the items that you want to be able to ignore to two boxes down below. And then when you click Start, then it will automatically go ahead and collect all the items in your ZMC for you.
That's a really handy one. It saves you a lot of clicks.
Yeah. And then the other one, and I've talked about this before, is the Mission Crew link, and it's sort of like the Mission Crew Linkinator. What it does is you launch it up, and if you've got a mission open that you need help with, instead of having to go through and find family members, you're going to send the request through Facebook and have it posted to their wall and all that other stuff, you can actually run it, and it will create a Spock on Me URL, and then you can paste it on your wall, and then people can click on it at their leisure, and you tend to get your requests filled a little bit faster that way.
That's really handy for the missions too, because I know when it says get support from like 12 of your Mafia members,
right,
it can take forever.
Well, and you can send them, and then the problem is you don't even know what time zone those people are in that you're sending them to, and you may have to wait for 8 hours for them to even wake up.
I don't
I never thought about that.
So if you use the Mission Crew Linkinator, in essence, then you can create a URL that you just put on your Facebook wall. You put in the comment that it's a mission crew, and people will click on it, and you can feel confident that with it being Spockon.me addresses, that it's strictly just a Mafia Wars URL. You'll be good to go.
And plus, it goes through the news feeds why people are playing, so that's much quicker than the other way.
Yep.
Life.
So that's really all I've got going on at Spockholm, and there'll be other stuff here very shortly with.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, I guess my question usually goes at this point to Jen. So what's going on in the game there, Jen?
Oh, there's so much going on in the game. Talked about that earlier, the revelation that Zanga has heard our cries about hating all these events. Well, we got, as soon as the old mission expired, it was about maybe not even an hour later, a new mission called Friendly Fire, which is a timed mission event. We have 7 days came out, and it's pretty easy. There's not too much that should slow people down. It's just an extra thing you have to do. And like you said, the experience point bonuses are cool. And then today we got a new gifting event, but the quote from Nate said there was nothing that could be done about the one in the hopper. That was from you, Pete.
The hopper.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's the Easter one.
The Easter hopper.
Nate said it was tagged and ready to go, or bagged and tagged, whatever. So that's what we saw today come out, and just everyone's fed up with those. And then we have another unique spamming type event. Back in January, we had something called Crack the Safe, where you had to do a bunch of tasks, and one of them was get 5 friends to accept your Mafia Wars invite, and you would get a loot item. Well, the new version is the same thing. You have to invite 5 friends, and you get a loot item, but you don't have to do all the other stuff. And what's also different about this one is you can repeat it. So if you invite 20 friends and they accept, you'll get 20 items. Now, last time around, you couldn't delete someone and then add them back because it kept track of that. So I imagine this one does too. So it'll be time to go to the add me sites to get new people to join your Mafia.
Great.
And then we got some new operations last night, which I'm sorry, but I don't like operations. I know some people really do, but I don't. I hate feeling guilty about not doing them because you can get some good loot, but I don't like doing them and getting crappy loot. And then
Which is most of the time.
Yeah, and then eventually you'll get your one item that's cool and you're like, yay. But then when you think, oh, well, I kind of need 500 of these.
Exactly.
You feel kind of like, screw it, I don't want to do it. So there's a bunch of new items that have better stats. None of them are giftable because nothing good is giftable anymore. And that's about it for the operations. They did change a few things around. Like, when you get your operation when you're doing jobs, it's a pop-up, and you can usually just exit out and then go back to it later when you feel like it. Well, you can't do that anymore. You have to actually stop and invite people and cater to your operation.
And if you don't do it, doesn't it say, are you sure you'd want to do that?
Your option is to just completely remove it or cater to it. You don't have any choice.
But you have to keep answering questions, which is annoying.
Yeah, well, it's just stop. When you sit down to use your energy to do jobs, it's bad enough you get secret stash, you get, oh, you found a treasure chest, oh, you're out of reward, you need reward points. You get all those pop-ups, and then now this one, you can't just close it out and ignore it. You have to do something. And then speaking of secret stash, that's going to change too. The one you get where you get like 3 crappy loot items and you pick which one you want to share while you're doing jobs. Well, now you're going to get this in robbing and fights as well, and it's going to be more of a like an operation. It's going to show up in the operation tabs, and in order to get your loot item, you can no longer just take one for yourself and share the others. You have to quote unquote steal it, and you need help from your Mafia. So that's going to generate a lot more spam as well. And then they'll be tracked in the operations tab. You all don't sound very excited.
We're thrilled. That's awesome.
Shell shock.
Wow.
Yeah, that feature should be out soon. Maybe it got, postponed for a while because of all this other new stuff. And of course, the false identities are still going on. I think we have like a day left.
Yeah, collect.
And
you
who
know.
knows
'Cause
what
there's
else?
too many of them.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sure.
it'll be a day beyond whatever time they had on it because someone on the forums will complain that there wasn't enough time.
They were locked out.
To actually redeem
Oh no,
the
you
items that they
you
had.
get 4 days of redemption. The pop-ups will stop tomorrow, but the redemption time frame will last 4 more days.